On our segment, The Champ, we caught up with Homeboys RFC Centre and Kenya Sevens international Jeff Oluoch. He started by narrating to us the inspiration behind joining rugby during his high school life, despite his love for another sports discipline.
I started playing rugby in high school, in Form 2, that is. But before that, I was playing basketball. So there was the rugby teacher, the rugby sports, whatever, teacher or something like that. One day approached me and told me that I have the physique to play rugby. I've got the pace and probably the strength to play rugby. So he told me during the interclasses, he told me like I should probably try it out and see how it turns out for me. So I actually played one game during the interclasses, and I ended up making the team that was traveling to the districts, and I actually played really well. And from there on, that's when I started playing rugby. I sort of see myself playing the same rugby style as they do. That will be I actually play with right now. I play besides them. That will be Oscar Yodi and Oscar Uma, because I've actually been looking up to them since I was in high school. I've been looking up to them, and I'm so humbled that I got a chance to be able to play next to them, especially in the World Series. And to add to that, someone like Oscar Yodi, I get to play with him. I get to interact with him mostly because we're with him in the same club. So it's really humbling, and I thank the Almighty for giving me that platform to meet these guys and play along them.
Touted as the future biggest star, Oluoch, just at 20, was among the two new faces in the 12-member Kenya Sevens team named by Benjamin Ayimba in November 2015 for the 2016 Rio Olympics Games qualifiers. He attributes the achievement to hard work and discipline.
It's not easy, first and foremost, it's not easy because it requires a lot of discipline, a lot of hard work, and that has been working for me so far, because I put so much work in the gym during training, and there's got to be that discipline, because there's a lot that comes with rugby. So you got to find your sweet spot and tell yourself that this is what I'm going to do. From now henceforth, I'm going to put more time in the gym, and that is what has been working for me, because I've been putting more time in the gym, getting extra sessions going, and yeah, so far so good.
Contrary to many parents who've always wanted their kids to pay much attention to education at the expense of sports, Oluoch, who briefly played for Laikipia Jackals in 2013 before joining Homeboys the same year, talks of the overwhelming support he's managed getting from the family.
As for me, things were a little bit different for me, because my family actually gave me 100% support. My mom told me, if this is what you like doing, you go ahead and do this. Actually, immediately after high school, I used to stay with my brother in the UK. Immediately after high school, I got spotted for the under-19, and he told me, yeah, if this is what you want to do, then you go ahead and do it. So he actually is the one who actually gave me fare to come to Nairobi, and gave me fare for my accommodation until Paul Murunga and the UNICEF team took me in, stayed in camp. After that, Homeboys got me a place to stay, and so far, up to date, my family, my friends have been giving me full support, and I'm so thankful for that to them, and I'm really humbled. We don't want to say parents are always right, that is true, but one thing I would like to tell the parents out there, or the guardians out there, is if your son, if your daughter is interested in something, or is interested in a particular kind of sports, music, drama, whatever it is, like something that probably is not more in line with books and academics like that, I think it's high time you probably should give them the support, because nowadays talent out here pays. Actually, it pays. And if your son or your kid or your daughter is talented in something, be sure to back him up and give him the support he or she needs, because you never know, maybe he'll get to be the future star in whatever he's doing. And you as a parent will end up being so proud of yourself, knowing that you supported your son or your daughter in something he or she liked or loved to do.
The 23-year-old who captained Kenya under-19s, 15s and 7s teams in 2013 and 2014 was among the dream team of Driftwood Sevens, the fourth leg of the 2018 National Sevens circuit. He explains his feeling and secret behind his club's glamorous performance all along.
Me making the dream team was something good for me, because it's Actually, it's been a while since I played the sevens, especially considering that Driftwood Sevens was my first whatever circuit this leg this season. I mean, it was my first leg this season, so it was quite impressive that I got to be part of the dream team. As for the secret behind Homeboys, let me just say, guys at Homeboys love what they're doing, and people will put their bodies online, and guys will go all out to make sure that they bring the title home, because most of them, that is like what puts the day-to-day bread on their table. So it's something they don't joke with. So they give it all, they give it their best, because they know at the end of the day they got to pay their house, they got to pay they got to put food on the table, they got to pay school fees. So yeah, they're giving it their all, because they're doing it with passion as well.
He regrets the political intrigues that have rocked the local game despite the great show they displayed to surpass a 100-point mark under the tutelage of innocent Namco Simi, whose position has since been advertised.
Well, I would say this. It's unfortunate that this is happening right now, because if you look at probably other countries or other countries in the RB, the players have already been contracted, and training, the pre-season training is ongoing. Well, as for us, well, we're still here, unfortunately. But I will say that if we can be able to maintain the squad and bring in some fresh talent in the squad that was already there, and probably for me, I'll say if we maintain the same technical team, I'm pretty sure the upcoming season is going to be an awesome one for us, because we ended it on a high, as much as we didn't do so well in the World Cup. But if looking into the series, this was the first time we clicked to 100 points, and we got to 2 finals back to back, which has never happened before. So I'm pretty sure that if that were to be the case, like I said before, going on to the new season, it's going to be an awesome outing for the Kenya Sevens. Kenya rugby is actually growing, because if you look at the local series, that is the local circuit, back then you could predict the teams that will get to the semi-finals, that will get to the quarterfinals. But this time around, you can see teams like Kisii, teams like Mean Machine, teams like Black Blood, teams like Makueni beating some big teams out there, some heavyweights in the local circuit so far, and teams like Oilers, bringing disappointments to the heavyweight teams. So I will actually say that the rugby in Kenya right now is actually grown, and it's going to another level, and we hope that it's going to be bigger and better in the future, so that maybe we can have like a real competition out there. Like, when you're going to play against this team, you don't go 50-50, you don't go gambling, because it's a good team as well.
He had some kind words for the upcoming generation who is joining rugby and all they need to secure a breakthrough.
For anyone who's probably interested in playing rugby in the international level, or probably the club level in Kenya, I will probably like to tell you that you got to stay disciplined, be humbled, put in the effort, and more so, be God-fearing, and everything will work out for you. Just give it time.
Last season during HSBC World 7 Series, Oluoch made the most runs for Kenya. That's 112, ahead of William Baka's 98, and was the second most used player that season, having picked up 37 games. Reporting for the Touchline on Y254, my name is Maxwell Wasike.